You spend years chasing something, a dream, a person, a status. The hunger keeps you moving, the anticipation electrifies your veins. But then, you grasp it, and in that moment, something eerie happens. The thrill evaporates, the satisfaction is fleeting, the longing returns, latching onto something new. Why does fulfillment always seem just out of reach? Why does desire, instead of rewarding us, feel like a cycle of suffering? Schopenhauer had an answer, one you may not be ready to hear. Schopenhauer saw human life as a relentless, unending cycle of desire. He called it the will, a blind, insatiable force that drives every living being. It is the hunger that compels us to seek love, wealth, power, and validation. But here's the trap. Desire never ends. The moment one craving is fulfilled, another takes its place. We mistake satisfaction for happiness, but Schopenhauer argued that true fulfillment is an illusion. The mind is always restless, forever tormented by either longing or boredom. When we desire something, we suffer because we lack it. When we finally obtain it, the excitement fades, leaving behind emptiness. And when there is nothing left to chase, boredom, perhaps the cruelest suffering of all, takes over. This is not just philosophy, it is embedded in our psychology. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter of desire, does not reward us with happiness. It rewards us with anticipation. It keeps us wanting, searching, reaching. We are wired to crave, not to be content. So, what does this mean? If human nature is cursed to chase illusions, is there any way to break free? Or are we destined to suffer under the tyranny of our own desires? Now consider the world shaped by this endless craving. Look around. Advertisements whisper promises of happiness if you buy more. Influencers flaunt lives curated for envy, and success is measured not by contentment, but by accumulation. Society itself thrives on your dissatisfaction. If people were ever truly content, entire economies would collapse. But the consequences run deeper than materialism. Relationships become transactional. People seek partners not for connection, but for validation. Ambitions become prisons. What begins as a dream turns into an obligation, an identity you can never escape. Even pleasure turns sour, as excess leads to numbness, forcing you to chase greater extremes just to feel alive. And here's the cruelest irony. The more you chase happiness, the more it eludes you. Like a mirage in the desert, every step forward leaves you thirstier. So, is there a way out? Or is escape just another illusion? But what if the only way to win is to stop playing? What if freedom isn't in chasing more, but in walking away? Schopenhauer saw the truth. Desire is a chain, and the only way to break free is through detachment. Not apathy, not nihilism, but a radical shift, where you no longer let your cravings dictate your existence. The Buddhists call it renunciation. The Stoics call it indifference. It is the art of wanting nothing, and in doing so, gaining everything. Think of those who have truly found peace, not in wealth or fame, but in simplicity. The monk who owns nothing, yet lacks nothing. The artist who creates not for praise, but for the joy of creating. The person who walks away from the endless race and in doing so finally learns how to live. But here's the final question. If we stop desiring, do we stop living? So, if desire is suffering and renunciation is freedom, does that mean we should abandon all wants, all ambitions, all dreams? The truth is far more profound. Schopenhauer did not call for the death of desire, but the death of blind desire, the kind that enslaves you, not the kind that liberates you. It's not about rejecting pleasure, but about mastering it. Not about abandoning life, but about living it on your own terms, without being a puppet to cravings you never chose. Think about it. How much of what you chase is truly yours? Do you want success, or do you want approval? Do you seek love, or do you fear loneliness? Do you hunger for more, or are you simply terrified of stillness? When you strip away what society has conditioned you to want, what remains? Your will, your essence, the things that bring meaning, not just momentary satisfaction. And maybe that's the final secret, not to eliminate desire, but to desire wisely, to crave what is real, to seek what nourishes, not what depletes, to live not as a prisoner of longing, but as a master of your own existence. Because the rarest, most radical desire is to be free. Schopenhauer believed that there was, but not in the way most people think. The answer does not lie in fulfilling more desires. It lies in renouncing them. The only way to escape the endless cycle of craving and discontent is to step outside of it entirely. To understand that the will that drives us is not our will. It is simply nature acting through us. And if we can recognize that, we can begin to strip away the illusions that bind us. This is where most people recoil. To reject desire sounds like rejecting life itself. But is it? Or is it the first step toward something deeper, a kind of freedom that few ever attain? Think of the moments when you were truly at peace, not when you achieved something, but when you let go of the need to achieve. The quiet moments where you simply existed, without expectation or longing. That stillness, that detachment, is where real fulfillment lies. Schopenhauer's insight is radical. Happiness is not found in the pursuit of desire, but in its transcendence. To live without being shackled by endless wants, to break free from the illusion that you are incomplete until you acquire something, that is the closest we can come to true liberation. So, ask yourself, are you willing to let go? Or will you remain in the cycle, chasing a dream that dissolves the moment you touch it?